Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle, Aang versus Edward Elric. So of course, make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first, watch that and everything. I'm sure that you have, because this video is like, it's pretty old at this point, but do that, and then come back here and we'll watch it together. So yes, this was the one that I said that I was going to watch quite a while ago, and then I watched another one instead, and then I took another good break from just videos in general, but now I have officially finished Avatar: The Last Airbender with one of my best friends in the whole world, and so I'm ready now to watch this one. I just, I didn't want to watch this ahead of time. Like, currently we're watching through Korra, and there might be like some spoilers for that in this, I don't know obviously, but I'm pretty like, now I've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I won't be spoiled by that, at least. I don't know if this is going to delve into like the comics at all, none of which I've read, but I also don't know if I ever would, so like I'm fine with that. I just didn't want to spoil the series while I was going through it, blind. So yeah. Now, I've never seen Full Metal Alchemist, but I'm kind of okay if I spoil that one this time. I'm usually not terrible about being spoiled. It was just like that particular, since I was watching it with someone, I didn't want to get ahead, you know what I mean? So yeah, but with that being said, with having seen Avatar: The Last Airbender and enjoyed it, it was a good show, and having seen or having not seen Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood or otherwise, I'm definitely biased towards Aang. Like, I want Aang to win this one, and so I'm gonna this is me acknowledging it, and so I'm aware of the fact that I'm biased towards him, and I'm gonna try not to let that affect me, but it might affect me, you know what I mean? So there's kind of just only so much I can do about that, but I'll try to watch myself. So yes, I know some things about Aang for sure. I really don't know about Edward though, so I don't have much else to say at this point, so let's stop wasting time. With that, let's get to watching. And play.
Hymns, they're all about making you look and feel good.
Thanks to science, baldness can be optional, because Hims is here to help. 4hims.com is your one-stop solution for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men.
Get started with the complete hair kit for just $5 right now while supplies last. And
look, it's like actually something that I could use.
For full details
I shaved, but still, I shaved because my hair's thinning, and I like it better this way.
4hims.com/deathbattle. That's FORHIMS.com/deathbattle.
Cool. Maybe I'll check it out. Who knows? Thanks, Death. I mean, I guess like that would be way old at this point, like that. Their promotion or whatever. And it was Death Battle. So Aang versus Edward. Go.
Make up every aspect of the world we live in, and no average person can tame them.
But
Seventh Element.
These kids can master them with a vengeance.
Boomerang.
Like Aang.
That's what the movie was, right? Seventh Element.
And Edward Elric, the Full Metal Alchemist. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Hello, you
and
two.
It's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Full Metal Alchemist is definitely a more serious show.
Water, earth, fire, air.
That's right.
Heart.
Once the four nations lived in harmony, and some of their citizens could even learn to bend their nation's element. But only the Avatar could master all four, and it's their duty to protect the balance between these nations.
And since there's always got to be an Avatar around, a new one is born whenever the last one dies.
As long as they didn't die in the Avatar state.
The Fire Nation attacked. Attempting to conquer the other three nations, the Avatar would inevitably be their greatest obstacle.
Man, they'd even go after a kid?
Living among the
especially.
Aang was an energetic and dutiful 12 years old when he learned of his destiny. He was the newest incarnation of the Avatar.
Yeah.
But he totally wussed out, ran away from home, and got frozen in ice for
I didn't read any
years.
of the sidebar.
What the hell? That's not what I'd do if I found out I was an awesome elemental badass.
Well, that's not true. I read the DOD and was trying to figure out what that was.
Boomstick, he's 12.
That he
running
is.
away actually saved his life.
Yeah.
As the Fire Nation knew the next Avatar would be an air nomad and slaughtered them all in a horrific surprise attack.
But the poor kid wouldn't be stuck in ice forever. He was eventually rescued by some new friends and began his quest to learn the other elements and save the world.
Yeah.
And as an air nomad, he can really bend the wind to his will.
He can use air bending to create whirlwinds and tornadoes or slice through solid stone.
And he can fly! Whee!
Yeah, when he remembers he can do all this stuff. He has a very selective memory.
What he actually does is manipulate the air currents to keep aloft. That's why he carries a glider, complete with snacks.
Well, the new glider, yes.
I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Whatever.
And it
if
did.
It looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. Or I guess flying avatar guy.
But ducks actually can fly. Anyway, Aang can use air in pretty much every aspect of his life. Like for shields, increasing his speed, improving agility, adjusting his body temperature, and even focusing his breath to use as an attack.
After he learned waterbending from Paku and Katara, Aang can make whips, knives, and literal tsunamis. Hey, I can do that too. Just give me a pool and watch this cannonball fly.
Right.
I mean, I'm a waterbender.
Sure. Waterbenders can also manipulate steam and ice.
Just like how I, the great waterbender Boomstick the Wet,
Uh-huh.
use my powers to swim through this frozen block.
You what?
Yep.
Now let's see it.
Waterbending 101. You can be jealous.
Oh wow, I'm just bursting with envy.
Bending
I want to see where this goes.
Activate! Ah! Ha! Success!
Like airbending, waterbending requires a nearby
How heavy
source
is
of
he?
water to use, like a pond or a filled bottle. The same goes for earthbending, which Aang learned from his mentor Toph.
Earthbending is all about.
Well, I mean,
throwing
he
rocks
could
at
just
people
get it
and a
from
bunch of
everywhere,
other cool
like
stuff,
Katara
making
learned
walls
from
and
the
earthquakes
Bloodbender.
and causing the ground to swallow you up, which is kind of creepy, actually.
Last but certainly not least, Aang learned the art of firebending from his longtime rival, Zuko. Unlike the other arts, firebenders can actually create fire to use at will.
Firebending is so goddamn powerful. It's even got the deadliest bending technique of all, shooting lightning.
Yeah.
While only the most advanced firebenders can cast lightning.
Well, until you get to Korra.
An instant move. While Aang never learned the move itself, he has learned how to redirect it with his body.
But even after learning the 4 elements, Aang got to meet one last master bender.
Who taught him the art of manipulating
Not a
the
huge fan of
life energy.
the last part of the series.
It's super dangerous though, and one mistake could tear up Aang's soul.
And with it, Aang defeated the Fire Lord and brought peace to the world at large.
Well, with that and with his super form, the Avatar
It was mostly the
The
super
Avatar
form, let's
state
be
Aang's
real.
bending abilities grow immensely powerful. This is because the Avatar state lets Aang draw upon the power and wisdom of all previous Avatar incarnations. Though it is extremely risky, as dying while in the Avatar state ends the cycle of reincarnation permanently.
Yeah.
Why would he care if he's dead anyway? Whatever. The coolest thing about the Avatar state is it makes you glow. Like this. Behold!
It really doesn't, though.
Oh, I drank a bunch of
Oh
You
no.
need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like right now.
My liver's process way worse than this.
Oh, with or without.
All right.
He is plenty powerful. He has the ability to move gigantic stone columns and even carve canyons around an entire city.
Not only has he survived hits from earthbending kings and massive explosions, he threw this gigantic column of rock at the Fire Lord.
To get the column's mass, we compared Aang's height against it and determined it must weigh 9,500 tons.
Aang's super fast too. With airbending, he can run on water.
Which, given his size, requires a movement speed of well over 67 miles per hour.
He used airbending to block a giant column-destroying explosive attack from the best-named character on the show, Combustion Man!
And he's
Sparky,
proven he can
Sparky
redirect
Boom
lightning
Man.
from the Fire Lord himself. Taking into account the distance between them and how far Aang's arm had to move to catch the lightning, he would have to react at least 155 times faster than sound.
He is pretty unused to violence, though. I mean, he's a vegetarian pacifist for crying out loud. But
Yeah,
while he may
he's
seem
raised
like
by
just
monks.
a kid, Aang still saved the world and led it into a peaceful future. To him, bending is elementary.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
Dang. Ah, I feel like that was over so soon.
Alchemists of old once tried
Already
to turn lead
moving
into gold
on.
with not great results. But in the country of Amestris, the ancient science of alchemy is actually possible by using the Earth's natural energy to reshape the molecular structure of various objects.
And by drawing
Okay.
a circle thingy.
A transmutation circle, which most alchemists use except for the youthful prodigy, Edward Elric.
Oh, what a little badass.
Careful, Boomstick, he's a bit touchy about his size.
Hey, if I lost my mom like he did,
He's
I
4'8".
could manage the little stuff too. But
Fun.
Dad and his brother Alphonse figured they could bring her back with alchemy. So they went for it, but things went south real fast.
Oh.
You know, people say they'd give an arm and a leg for something. Well, Ed literally did, and poor Al lost his whole body. Luckily, Ed managed to stick his brother's soul in a suit of armor. But still,
Oh.
yikes.
This horrible experience has forever marked the two brothers. No one is meant to transmute the human soul, and the boys were lucky just to escape with their lives.
But he got something good out of it, like super secret knowledge, including how to do alchemy without a circle thingy. He just has to clap instead.
Oh, is that simple?
With these new abilities,
What a
Ed
secret.
and Alphonse began their quest to restore their bodies. Specifically, they sought the incredible power of a Philosopher's Stone, believing it to be their only chance. Eventually, Ed joined the military, and thanks to his amazing potential, he was named by the Fuhrer the Full Metal Alchemist.
What? Adolf Hitler?
Nope.
Nah, it's just Bradley. He's okay.
Okay.
He isn't.
All right.
Also, since Ed lost
Till he
a couple
isn't
limbs,
sure.
he got them replaced with automail, kind of like my leg.
Automail is made from incredibly durable metal.
Oh, that
ranging
was
from his
recorded
original
differently.
steel one, to a gas-powered one, to his best version consisting of a mix of aluminum and carbon.
Apart from being durable metal prosthetics, Ed's automail limbs function just like normal ones. He can even reshape his arm as a weapon.
So he can turn
Nice.
it into swords and saws and stuff, increase its durability by hardening its makeup, or turn it into an umbrella. Ah, truly a limb with many talents.
But at the end of the day, Ed's true talent lies not in sword fighting or umbrella holding, but the art of alchemy.
He can do all sorts of crazy things with all the elements. He can basically make anything he wants, like spears and shields.
So long as he follows the rule of equivalent exchange.
Uh-huh.
Anything created with alchemy must have a source of equal value. It cannot be made fundamentally different. For example, lead can be molded into a statue, but it cannot be turned into water. Other than that, there are three principles needed
Okay.
to use alchemy well. Comprehension,
Which means you gotta understand what the thing you're using is made of.
destruction.
Breaking stuff down.
I thought it was deconstruction.
Put stuff back together.
Ed is only limited by the materials at hand and his imagination. At his full potential, he can do almost anything. He can purify water, create ammonium gas from ammonium nitrate, repair entire houses, and transform a gun into a trumpet.
Don't you ever try and do that with any of my guns. Anyway, Ed's also learned destruction alchemy, which does exactly what you think it does, make a big ol' kaboom. Ed's used it to destroy stuff like automail, but it can also be used to explode people's heads.
Oh.
So, using destruction alchemy, Ed should be able to destroy something like this on a molecular level.
Ha! Or you could just do that.
Anyway, with all of his abilities, Ed has done some incredibly impressive things.
Not only has he blocked gunfire from a Gatling gun after it started firing, he's dodged a pistol from nearly point-blank range, and his automail arm even took a bite from a lion-headed chimera. It was totally fine.
Assuming this chimera has a similar bite force to that of a real lion, that means Ed's arm stood up to a force of 1,000 pounds per square inch.
He's created a gigantic
It's a metal
cannon,
arm,
and
to
then
be fair, but
survived
yes.
that cannon exploding while he was standing on it. And then he survived being on top of a huge boulder exploding too.
We can measure the boulder's explosion against Ed's size to get an approximate energy output. With a radius of 36 feet, this blast must have been equivalent to over 100 tons of TNT.
How's that for equivalent exchange?
It's the
bitches?
durability I'm
He
mostly
also
not sure
survived an
about right
explosion
now.
That took out most of a 10-story building.
Even apart from being tough, Ed has shown considerable strength when using alchemy.
Like when he created a gigantic golem to crush his opponent.
By measuring the size of the stone golem's thumb, comparing it to the size of the average human's thumb, and using that scale to estimate the size of the golem, that gives us an estimated weight of over 3,000 metric tons.
All this without any Philosopher's Stone, because it turns out those things are really, really messed up.
Right. Philosopher's Stones are extremely powerful and can be used in many different ways. Kimberly the Crimson Lotus Alchemist, for example, used one to create a massive explosion equal to 157 kilotons of TNT. However, it turns out that these stones are composed of imprisoned human souls.
Oh.
So Ed and Al vowed to avoid them on principle. Although Ed can boost his alchemic power in a similar manner by drawing on his own life force, increasing his potential at the cost of shortening his lifespan. But that's what Ed ultimately had to learn. what it truly means to let something go. And so he found another way to revive Al's body, sacrificing his own power for the sake of family.
Yay.
Aw, what a nice guy. But all in all, so long as Ed knows what he's trying to transmute, he's an amazing force to be reckoned with.
Now let's go home. Together.
So he was ultimately successful? Good. Good for him. Okay.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possible.
All right, well.
But first, thanks to Blue Apron, I've become a food
we're gonna
vendor.
watch this.
By now, you've probably heard of
Well, you
Blue
are
Apron,
while I think.
the leading meal kit delivery service in the U.S.
Choose your meals
Kinda
each
poppin'
week,
though,
get
gotta
the
say.
ingredients delivered to your doorstep, and whip up a meal using the easy-to-follow directions provided.
It's a great way to get fantastic meals without having to worry about all that tedious prep work cooking at home usually requires.
And if you jump in now, you'll get some delicious summer choices like juicy burgers and tomato salsa.
This is tough.
Personally, this has been a fantastic way to get legitimately good
I mean,
meals
maybe
into
it's
my
close,
busy
maybe
weekly
it's really
routine.
one-sided. I don't know,
Part is
but
feeling like a master chef, making creative and delicious meals with my own hands. You guys really need to try it out.
It's pretty nice coming home knowing I'll have a delicious meal I can whip up with ease. To start making delicious, brag-worthy meals at home without the hassle, try Blue Apron.
Check out this week's
Okay, I'm getting ready
menu
to
and
pause
get
it.
$60 off at
Getting ready to
blueapron.com
pause it.
/battle. That's blueapron.com/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
But right now,
it's time for a death battle and pause. Okay, so all right, so I'm currently thinking that Aang's going to win, and this is why. Like I said during their individual, well, I guess during Edward's specifically analysis portion, the thing that I'm mostly unsure about is the durability. Because I don't have like a great comparison that stuck with me, you know? Like, they both seemed really durable, surviving like point blank explosions and everything, and so it's hard to say. They both seem to have like feats of quickness, like Edward dodging the point blank bullet, and Aang like reacting quick enough to like redirect the lightning in time. And but like I assume that Aang, like, he must have faster speed overall just because of the airbending that he can do. If he remembers, because he always forgets in the show, it seems, that he can, like, he has super speed, you know? And then, like, this is what I'll really give Edward. His seems more versatile. Like, what he can do with his alchemy seems way more versatile. But not necessarily as helpful in a combat situation, it didn't seem. Like, reconstructing a house, brilliant, that's awesome. But, like, that's not gonna help, like, kill Aang. And, you know, ultimately what it comes down to is who can kill the other person. And so, obviously, Edward does have a lot of, like, fighting potential, but I don't think the weapons are really gonna be what's doing it. I think, like, you know, the giant golem, like, that kind of just massive strength would stand a better chance against Aang, but I don't think the weapons are going to be the thing that does him in. And so with Aang having the 4 elements and, you know, the avatar state to back him up with like all of those years of wisdom and experience, I just think that Aang has more of that killing potential than Edward does in this case. I think that Edward can do more in general, just not more in this particular niche of like who can kill the other person. Because, again, they both seem really durable. I don't know about the comparisons. So maybe there's something huge that I'm missing. I don't think it's a thing where it's like... I don't think that Edward is incapable of killing Aang by any means. It just seems that with what they both have, Aang is more capable of killing Edward. So that's what I'm going to go with. Aang is going to win this one. And play.
Sorry, Momo. You're just too little.
Little? Who are you calling a pipsqueak, you stupid hairless kid?
That was the animal.
Nobody?
I'll show you!
Man, he really doesn't like that. Fight! I announced it for you guys. Gosh, Edward had like no reason to jump in. Is he really that explosive in the show too? Edward seems very Green Lantern-esque.
You know, there are actually a lot of advantages to being short. Like, you'll never hit your head on door frames, Now I gotcha.
Yeah, that one fire blast ought to do it.
Ah! Oh no! I'm sorry.
A classic misdirection. That's advantage Elric. Ha! Damn it! How's this for small?
Aang, blow it up. It would be just like in the anime.
What kind of alchemy is that?
Come on, Aang, you know I'm rooting for you.
Okay, no more clappy magic.
Oh, jeez. Was that his robo arm? I think it was his robo arm, otherwise there'd be blood. Wait, wasn't it the other arm? Poor Cabbage Man.
I won't lose you again. There you are.
Nice try, Shorty! Whew. Can't believe that worked.
No, just bend underground. Or if the Avatar stayed out of it, that works too. You knew he wasn't dead yet because he hadn't even gone Avatar state, and they wouldn't have an animation without that.
At least I'm taller than you.
Oh, was...
Left me no choice.
Oh, that's actually the end. Oh yeah, okay. Yay!
Looks like Ed didn't have a leg to stand on. Or arm, I guess.
Ed may have been more quick-witted and inventive, and he certainly had more combat experience. But Aang's bending abilities were far more versatile and readily available than combat alchemy.
Yeah, Ed had cool stuff like cannons and gun trumpets, but Aang was fast enough to react to lightning, which is way faster than dodging a measly bullet.
Recall how Ed survived an explosion that destroyed most of a 10-story building. By examining the size of the building and thus the volume of the conical explosion, this blast must have equaled about 30 kilotons of TNT.
That's cool, but Aang did way more when he carved up a circle around that city in Avatar state.
The force to blast such a huge ravine around the city of Yu Dao was a massive undertaking. By measuring the width, length, and depth of the affected area compared to the size of the city, we found it would take almost 160 kilotons of TNT to pull that off.
More than 5 times greater than Ed's best durability feat.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Aang definitely had the stuff to crush Ed's automail arm and the rest of him.
Granted, Ed could reach this sort of power by sacrificing his life force. Remember Kimbley's explosion, the one empowered by a Philosopher's Stone?
Yes.
Blast worth 157 kilotons of
I
TNT?
do. Well, I mean, not the
That's
numbers,
almost
but...
identical to Aang's feat. And theoretically, Ed could have been capable of this level of power. Theoretically. However, a Philosopher's Stone uses many souls, while Ed could only draw from his one. Not to mention, drawing from his own life force meant his power-up had a very short and dangerous
I thought the
duration
philosopher just had one living soul
Avatar
each.
state,
I guess I
which
misunderstood
has no
that.
such limit. But even so, Ed's tactics and creativity kept him in the fight, yet the Avatar's speed, power, and versatility was too much for him. Aang may be a pacifist in canon and would hardly kill anyone, but unleashing his full power is a sight to behold.
Just when Ed thought he had the hang of it, he alchemist the mark.
Ha!
The winner is Avatar Aang.
Claps for Aang. Cool.
Thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle.
You're
If you want
welcome.
the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link down below.
And if you'd like to see some more battle and death, make sure to click the link over there.
Battle and death. Next time, which is what I already saw, right? Yeah. Yeah, I already saw this one. Cool, Ghost Rider versus Lobo, that's right, yeah. Alright, so let's talk about this death battle now. So yay! Aang won! I'm glad for that because again, like I know Aang. Like I watched that show and I didn't watch Full Metal Alchemist, but I watched Avatar, and so I don't know Edward, but I know Aang. So that was cool. You know, they were saying that Aang was more versatile. From what I saw of like in the analyses portions, you know, it still seems to me like Edward is more versatile in general, but Aang is more versatile in combat. And that was the point that I was making earlier. And so maybe I don't know the full extent of Edward, and so I could just be wrong, but that was my understanding of it, where it's like Edward can do a lot, and like Aang is limited specifically to the elements. I mean, like, you know, earth, air, water, fire elements. And then Edward is limited to the elements as well, but like they're a little bit, they're different. So yeah, versatile, just not in the way that Death Battle requires you to be. It also makes sense for sure that Edward has more battle, like combat experience, which didn't really even cross my mind, but like absolutely, just given the fact that, you know, like the entire Avatar: The Last Airbender series, it's only like a year or two. No, it's 1 year. It's just 1 year because of like Sozin's comet and everything, right? Like the eclipse and all that, like that was all just within the 1 year, I think. And so he's like 12 or 13 in the series, like at most 14, right? That's what I'd say. And it's not like he was fighting, you know, before he was like, you know, they found him in the ice at the beginning of the series. Like, he was training for sure. Like, he was already a master airbender, as seen by the arrow, because he invented the air scooter. But that was, you know, that's not fighting. And then he still had to, like, learn the elements, like the other bending styles. And I just don't know anything about Edward's story. Like, you know, obviously they gave a lot of it here, but it's one thing to hear it from Death Battle, and it's a completely different thing to actually watch the show and come to the understanding, like, organically or whatnot. You know, here, all this information is, like, crammed into, you know, a few minutes, basically, for each character. And then watching the show is, like, you have all of these episodes to get to know the character, to get to know the world, to get to know their development. Completely different. So, yeah. I thought the Death Battle itself was pretty cool. It was nice to see the personality. I think the personality was my favorite part. Seeing, you know, like the explosive Edward and, you know, the... like, obviously the voices weren't, like, perfect, but, you know, what can you do? Like, they were still fun, and, like, you could hear the characters in them. And Aang just being, like, you know, this young, apologetic kid, but then he was like, all right, enough is enough, you know? It was amusing. Of course, you know, he won in the Avatar state, which... You know, Avatar State is not my favorite thing, because it's like, when I see the Avatar State, I don't attribute that success to Aang, I attribute it to the Avatar State, and so, like, that's one of the big reasons I don't love the final episode of, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I could get into another time. But, you know, like, it had to come out in the animation. It's like, it's basically how I knew the fight wasn't over, when Edward thought it was over, when he, like, you know, you see... Aang's staff snap, like, that wasn't the end, because it was just Aang up to that point. There was never any Avatar state. You have to see, like, their not their upgrades, but their transformations, basically, you know? You have to see, like, their awakened states before the fight can end. That's just typically how Death Battle goes, because otherwise, you know, people are gonna throw a huge fit. Like, that's just the thing. So, you know, I at least am satisfied with this conclusion. It made sense to me. So... I don't know. And the animation itself was cool. It was enjoyable. Let me know what you guys thought about this Death Battle in the comments below. You know, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And of course, I was about to say, you know, tune in next time for the next Death Battle, but I don't know what the next one is, because I already watched Ghost Rider vs. Lobo. So, let me see if it's in this playlist, because I have, like, the... Nope, I don't have the video open. Or, like, the playlist open, sorry. It'll be something. So tune in next time for that video. And until then, thank you guys again for watching, and have a good one, everybody.